There is something disturbing happening right now, right under our noses. It is a phenomenon so subtle that 99% of the population will live their entire lives without ever noticing it. Yet it determines absolutely everything about the reality each of them experiences. It dictates who suffers and who thrives. It decides who lives in a state of perpetual anxiety and who walks through life with an inexplicable sense of ease. Before we try to fix anything in your life, I need you to pause and observe the world around you with a new set of eyes. Look closely. Imagine two people. Let's call them Subject A and Subject B. These two individuals are identical on paper. They are exactly the same age. They come from the same socio-economic background. They grew up in the same neighborhood, perhaps even attended the same schools. They have the same level of intelligence, the same education, and physically, they are equally capable. By all logical metrics, their lives should follow a similar trajectory. But they don't. In fact, they inhabit two completely different universes. Subject A seems to have been born under a lucky star. You know this person. When they walk into a room, the energy shifts. Doors seem to open for them before they even knock. Opportunities appear in their email inbox seemingly out of nowhere. Their relationships flow without drama. When they face a problem, the solution presents itself almost instantly, as if the world is conspiring to help them. They work, yes, but their work feels like play. It feels aligned. They are swimming downstream, carried by a current of good fortune. Now look at Subject B. Subject B is hardworking. They are intelligent. They are a good person by all social standards. Yet their life is a constant, grinding battle. They feel as if they are waking up every single day to fight a war against an invisible enemy. For Subject B, nothing is easy. Every dollar earned requires a disproportionate amount of struggle. Relationships are fraught with conflict and misunderstanding. They constantly feel overlooked, undervalued, and ignored. It's as if they are swimming upstream, wearing a backpack full of stones, against a violent current that wants to push them back. If you ask Subject B why their life is this way, they will give you a list of logical reasons. They will blame the economy. They will blame their boss. They will blame the government, their upbringing, or just bad luck. But here is the uncomfortable truth that almost no one wants to admit. Subject A and Subject B are living in the exact same external world. They deal with the same economy. They live under the same government. They face the same general circumstances. So why is the outcome so radically different? The difference is not fate. It is not karma. It is not divine favoritism. And contrary to what hustle culture tells you, the difference is rarely about working harder. Subject B often works twice as hard as Subject A, only to achieve half the results. The difference lies in something far more fundamental, something that science is only beginning to understand and that ancient wisdom has tried to teach us for millennia. These two people are not living in the same reality. They are inhabiting two completely distinct frequencies of existence, occupying the same physical space. The reality of Subject A is tuned to a frequency of reception and flow. The reality of Subject B is tuned to a frequency of resistance and struggle. But where do these frequencies come from? They don't come from the outside. They aren't imposed by a god or a system. They are generated. And this is the most terrifying and liberating realization you will ever have. Each of these individuals has created their own reality. Subject B constructed their prison of struggle, brick by brick, without ever realizing they were the architect. Subject A constructed their palace of opportunity, often unconsciously, simply by operating on a different internal code. This brings us to the central mystery of this video. What is that code? What is the invisible mechanism that translates internal states into external circumstances? You have likely heard phrases like, "You create your reality," or "mindset is everything." But those have become cliches. They are empty words that you nod at, but don't truly understand. I am not talking about positive thinking. I'm talking about a mechanical, psychological, and perhaps even physical law that governs the reflection of the universe. We need to talk about the mirror. Not the mirror in your bathroom that shows you your face. Not the camera on your phone that shows you your curated image. I am talking about the mirror of reality. This mirror is an impartial, non-judgmental, and absolutely precise feedback system. It is operating right now as you listen to my voice. It is reading something within you, something you might not even be aware of, and it is projecting it onto the screen of your life in the form of people, events, and bank account balances. If you are looking at your life today, at your finances, your love life, your career, your body, and you do not like what you see, if you feel that frustration of subject B, if you feel that despite all your efforts, you are stuck in a loop of mediocrity or struggle, there is only one explanation. The image you are holding in front of the mirror is distorted. You are shouting at the mirror, begging it to smile at you while you are frowning, and the mirror, in its infinite honesty, can only frown back. Most people spend their entire lives trying to change the reflection. They try to force the mirror to smile. They scrub the glass. They manipulate the reflection, and they die exhausted because they never understood the principle. You cannot change the reflection by touching the glass. You can only change the reflection by changing the one who stands before it. In the next few minutes, we are going to dismantle the illusion of external cause and effect. We are going to stop looking at the economy, the luck, and the circumstances. We are going to look at the projector, because once you understand how the mirror works, how it takes your deepest, often silent identity and hardens it into physical destiny, you stop being a victim of the picture. You become the director of the film. But be warned. This requires a level of radical honesty that most people are not ready for. It requires admitting that everything you see outside, the good, the bad, and the ugly, has a root inside. If you are ready to accept that responsibility, then you are ready to cross the divide. You are ready to move from the reality of subject B to the reality of subject A. Let's begin. To understand how to shift your reality, you first need to understand the machinery of the mirror itself. Most of us are raised with a Newtonian view of the world. We believe that reality is out there, solid, fixed, and objective. We believe that we are small, separate observers moving through a pre-existing world. In this view, if you want to change your life, you must exert physical force on the world. You must work harder, fight louder, push stronger. But the mirror principle suggests that this view is backward. It suggests that the world out there is not a fixed cause. It is an effect. Think of it this way. When you stand in front of a physical mirror, you understand the relationship perfectly. If you raise your right hand, the reflection raises its left hand. If you wear a red shirt, the reflection wears a red shirt. You would never, in a million years, stand before a mirror and wait for the reflection to move first. You know that is impossible. The reflection has no will of its own. It has no initiative. It is a slave to the object before it. Yet in life, we forget this. We look at our bank account, the reflection, and we wait for it to change so that we can feel secure, the object. We look at our relationships, the reflection, and we wait for them to improve so that we can feel loved, the object. We look at our career, the reflection, and we wait for success so that we can feel worthy, the object. We are waiting for the reflection to move first. And because the reflection cannot move first, we remain stuck in a paralysis of waiting. We trap ourselves in a loop of stagnation. This is the tragedy of the human condition. We are powerful creators acting like helpless spectators. Now let's go deeper. What exactly does the mirror of reality reflect? It does not reflect what you want. This is the biggest misconception about manifestation or success psychology. The universe does not care what you want. You can want to be rich with every fiber of your being. You can want to be loved until your heart aches. Desire by itself changes nothing. In fact, intense desire often implies a lack, which the mirror faithfully reflects as more lack. The mirror does not reflect what you pretend to be. You can stand in front of others and act confident. You can post photos of a perfect life on social media. You can repeat positive affirmations in the shower until your throat is dry. I am rich, I am successful, I am happy. But the mirror is not listening to your words. It is reading your energy. It is reading your identity signature. The mirror reflects who you believe you are. It reflects your deepest, most silent, most ingrained convictions about your own nature and the nature of the world. It reflects your set point. If your conscious mind says, I want wealth, but your subconscious identity says, money is hard to get, or I am not the kind of person who gets lucky, the mirror will bypass your words and reflect your identity. It will give you hard money and bad luck. Why? Because the mirror operates on a law of absolute impartiality. It does not judge. It is crucial that you understand this. The universe is not punishing you. It is not blessing you. It is validating you. The mirror is the most loyal friend you will ever have. It agrees with you completely. If you wake up and unconsciously feel, life is stressful and people are untrustworthy, the mirror says, agreed. Here is a stressful traffic jam and a co-worker who betrays you. I have validated your worldview. If you wake up and unconsciously feel, I am supported and opportunities are abundant, the mirror says, agreed. Here is a refund check you didn't expect and a stranger who helps you. I have validated your worldview. The mirror's only job is to prove you right. This is why cynicism is a self-fulfilling prophecy. The cynic believes the world is bad, so the mirror shows him only the bad, which proves to the cynic that he was right all along. He gets to say, see, I told you. The optimist believes the world is full of potential, so the mirror shows him potential, proving him right. Both are right because they are living in different reflections. This mechanism is automatic. It happens whether you believe in it or not. It is happening right now. Look at your current results. Look at your recurring problems. Those are not accidents. They are feedback. They are the mirror telling you, with brutal honesty, exactly what frequency you are emitting. And this leads us to the most uncomfortable discovery of all. If the mirror only reflects who you are, then to get a different life, you have to become a different person. You don't just need to do different things. You need to be someone else. Most people try to change their lives by doing. They change jobs, doing, but the same frustrations follow them. They change partners, doing, but the same arguments re-emerge. They move cities, doing, but the same loneliness finds them, because they took themselves with them. The object in front of the mirror remained the same, so the reflection simply reconstituted itself in a new location. True transformation, the kind that shifts you from subject B to subject A, requires a fundamental reconstruction of identity. It requires you to destroy the version of you that is addicted to struggle and build a version of you that is compatible with the life you want. In the next part, we will explore the specific secrets that the masters of this principle use to hack this system. We will learn how to project a new image before the reflection changes, and how to bridge the gap between who you are and who you must become. The mirror is waiting. It has no preference. It is ready to reflect a masterpiece or a tragedy. The choice of what to put in front of it is yours. Now that we understand the mechanism, that the mirror only reflects the identity of the observer, we arrive at the source of almost all human frustration. We arrive at the trap that consumes 99% of energy and yields 0% of lasting results. I call this the smudge on the glass. Imagine you wake up in the morning, walk to your bathroom mirror, and notice a dark smudge of dirt on your face in the reflection. It's ugly. It bothers you. So, you reach out with a towel and start scrubbing the mirror. You scrub the glass frantically, right over the spot where the smudge appears. You scrub until your arm hurts. You scrub until the glass is hot from friction. But when you step back, the smudge is still there. So you try harder. You buy better cleaning products, strategies. You hire someone to help you scrub, coaching, consulting. You yell at the mirror for being defective, complaining. This sounds insane, doesn't it? Only a madman would try to clean his face by scrubbing the glass. Yet this is exactly how most people live their lives. They look at their bank account, the reflection, and see scarcity, the smudge. So they attack the reflection. They work longer hours. They skip sleep. They take on second jobs they hate. They try to force the numbers to change through sheer physical exertion, but because their internal identity remains set to survival mode, the smudge remains. Even if they make more money, an unexpected expense arises to take it away. The mirror resets. They look at their relationships and see conflict, so they attack the reflection. They argue. They try to force their partner to change. They manipulate. They beg. But because their internal identity is set to insecurity, the conflict remains. This is the definition of the reverse cycle of creation. You observe reality. You react to it emotionally. You reinforce the identity. The mirror reflects it back. You observe it again. It is a closed loop, a prison with no walls, built entirely by your own observation. As long as you are reacting to what is, you are doomed to repeat it. This is why hard work alone is often a trap. Hard work applied to the reflection is wasted energy. Hard work applied to the projector, to your internal self, is the only work that shifts the timeline. So, how do we break the glass? How do we stop being the victim of the reflection and start being the master of the image? We must master the first secret of the mirror masters, the art of conscious projection. Most people project their identity by accident. They are default projectors. They look at their past and say, "I am a failure because I failed 10 years ago." They look at their present circumstances and say, "I am anxious because my life is messy." They let the outside world tell them who they are. The master does the opposite. The master is a deliberate projector. The master understands a fundamental truth. Identity is not a discovery, it is a decision. You are not who you discovered yourself to be. You are who you decided to be, usually based on outdated evidence from your childhood. To change the reflection, you must first withdraw your attention from the current reality. You must stop believing the mirror. This is the hardest part. The mirror looks so real, the debt looks real, the loneliness feels real, the pain is visceral. But you must treat the current reality as old news. It is simply the echo of who you were yesterday. It is the smoke left over from a fire that has already burned out. Instead, you must construct a new identity in the dark before it ever sees the light. You must ask the dangerous question, who would I be if I already had the life I want? Notice I did not ask, what would I do, or what would I have? I asked, who would I be? The version of you that lives in the reality of subject A, the version of you that flows, that attracts, that succeeds, thinks differently than you do now. That version has a different nervous system baseline. That version walks differently, reacts to stress differently. That version does not hope for success. That version expects it as natural. You must identify the characteristics of that future self and start wearing them now, not as a costume, as a truth. This is not fake it till you make it. Faking implies you don't believe it. The mirror knows when you are faking. This is be it until you see it. You must occupy the state of the wish fulfilled. If you want abundance, you must find the frequency of abundance within you before the money arrives. You must feel the ease, the lack of urgency, the generosity of a wealthy person, even if you have $10 in your pocket. If you want love, you must find the frequency of connection and wholeness within you before the partner arrives. Why? Because the mirror cannot reflect what you want. It can only reflect what you are. If you wait for the money to feel abundant, you will wait forever, because the reflection cannot move first. You must move first. You must signal to the mirror, I am this. And you must hold that signal steady, even when the reflection hasn't changed yet. This leads us to the practical application. Write down your identity statement. Not I want to be, but I am. I am the kind of person who finds solutions easily. I am the kind of person who attracts high-value relationships. I am the kind of person who remains calm under pressure. And then the real work begins. You must walk through your day wearing this new skin. When a problem arises, you must catch yourself. The old you, subject B, would panic. The new you, subject A, remains calm. In that split second where you choose the new reaction over the old reflex, you are reprogramming the projector. You are wiping the smudge off your face. And when you do this consistently, something terrifyingly beautiful happens. The mirror blinks. Reality hesitates. And then, slowly, heavily, the reflection begins to shift. So, you have done the work. You have identified the distortion. You have crafted a new identity. You have stood before the mirror of reality and declared with conviction, I am no longer the person who struggles. I am the person who flows. And then you wake up the next morning and the bank account is still empty. The partner is still distant. The job is still draining. The reflection hasn't moved an inch. This is the valley of death. This is the precise moment where 90% of people abandon the process. They look at the stubborn, unmoving reflection and say, this is nonsense. It's not working. I was fooling myself. They tear up their new identity and return to the old one, simply because the world didn't rearrange itself overnight. They fail because they do not understand the second secret of the mirror masters, the gardener's patience. You must understand the physics of the mirror, your internal world, your thoughts, your imagination, your identity is fluid. It is made of energy. It can change in a nanosecond. You can close your eyes and instantly travel from despair to ecstasy. But the external world, the reflection, is made of matter. It is dense. It is heavy. It has inertia. Think of your reality like a massive ocean liner moving at full speed. Your identity is the rudder. When you turn the rudder, change your identity, the ship does not turn instantly. It continues moving in the old direction for a while, carried by the momentum of your past choices, your past beliefs, and your past energy. It takes time for the momentum to bleed off. It takes time for the massive structure of your life to pivot. Most people turn the rudder, wait 5 minutes, see the ship still moving straight, and panic. They let go of the wheel, or worse, they turn it back the other way. The master holds the wheel steady. The master knows that the delay is not a denial. It is simply physics. This is why we call it the gardener's patience. Imagine a gardener who plants a seed of a rare, magnificent tree. He digs a hole in the dark, cold soil. He places the seed inside and covers it up. For days, perhaps weeks, nothing happens on the surface. The ground looks exactly the same as it did before. Now, imagine the default person, Subject B in this situation. They walk out to the garden the next day, stare at the dirt, and scream, "Where is my tree? I planted it. This is a lie." Driven by anxiety and doubt, they dig up the seed to check if it's growing, and by exposing it to the harsh light before it was ready, they kill it. This is what you do when you check your results obsessively too soon, when you constantly look for external validation that your internal work is working. You are digging up the seed. You are broadcasting a signal of doubt. And remember, the mirror reflects who you are. If you are a person waiting anxiously for proof, the mirror reflects waiting, and the result never comes. You must be comfortable in the gap. You must have the audacity to believe in the tree while you are staring at the dirt. You must walk through your old life, which is still playing out like an echo, while holding the frequency of your new life perfectly steady. You treat the current problems not as present reality, but as residue. They are just the old momentum fading away. If you can hold your nerve during this time gap, if you can continue to be the new version of yourself, even when the environment contradicts you, the breakthrough is inevitable. The ship will turn, the seed will break the surface. It is law. But there is another trap waiting for you, even if you have patience. And this one is subtle. It is a linguistic and psychological trap that distorts the image you project. This brings us to the third secret: directed focus. The mirror of reality has a specific language. It is literal. It doesn't understand negatives. It does not process the word don't. It reflects the content of your focus, not your opinion about it. Let me explain with a psychological paradox. If I tell you, do not think of a pink elephant, what is the first thing that pops into your mind? A pink elephant. In order to process the command, do not think of X, your brain must first visualize X to know what not to think about. The mirror works the same way. Most people spend their entire lives focusing intensely on what they do not want. They wake up and think, I don't want to be in debt. I don't want to be lonely. I don't want to be sick. I hate this job. They believe they are pushing these things away, but in the language of the mirror, they are holding them close. When you say, I hate being poor, your focus is entirely on being poor. You are generating the emotional frequency of poverty. You are visualizing poverty. You are obsessing over poverty. The mirror looks at your signal and says, you are completely focused on poverty. You are vibrating with poverty. I will give you more poverty. The mirror does not care that you hate it. Hate is a form of intense focus. Fear is a form of intense focus. Worry is a form of prayer for what you don't want. As long as you are fighting your reality, you are feeding it. What you resist persists. Because to resist something, you must keep it in your mind. You must hold it in place to push against it. Subject B lives their life fighting enemies, fighting debt, fighting weight, fighting loneliness. Subject A simply turns their back on the enemy and walks toward the destination. The master understands that to change the picture, you must withdraw attention from the things you dislike and place it radically, almost delusionally, on the things you desire. You do not say, I want to get out of debt. You say, I am building wealth. The difference seems subtle, but it is structural. Getting out of debt keeps the focus on the debt. Building wealth moves the focus to the solution. You do not say, I hope I don't get sick. You say, I am cultivating vitality and strength. You do not say, I don't want to be alone. You say, I am ready for deep connection. You must become a sniper with your attention. Every time you catch yourself complaining about what is wrong, you are reinforcing the smudge on the glass. You are telling the mirror, this is significant, keep this here. To master the mirror, you must learn the art of strategic neglect. You must learn to starve your problems of attention. This doesn't mean you don't pay your bills or you ignore a medical emergency. You handle the logistics. Yes, but you do not give them your identity. You do not give them your emotional energy. You handle them like you handle taking out the trash, without drama, without story, without identifying with the garbage. Your emotional home must be built in the future you are creating, not the past you are cleaning up. When you combine these two secrets, the patience to wait through the time lag and the discipline to focus only on the desired outcome, you stop sending mixed signals to the universe. You become a coherent beam of laser light, and the mirror has no choice but to reflect that clarity back to you. But there is one final piece, the most advanced secret, the one that turns this from a struggle into a game, the one that closes the loop forever. We will cover that in the final part. We arrive now at the final and most dangerous lock on the gate of your reality. This is the mechanism that keeps the vast majority of humanity imprisoned in lives they do not want, repeating the same year over and over again until they die. It is called the reverse cycle of creation. Let's analyze how Subject B, the person stuck in struggle, operates their machine. Step 1. They look at their current reality, the bank balance, the empty bed, the mirror. Step 2. They observe it and label it as the truth. Step 3. They internalize this truth emotionally. They feel poor, they feel lonely, they feel stuck. Step 4. They project this feeling back into the mirror. Step 5. The mirror reflects more of it. This is a perfect, unbreakable feedback loop. Reality dictates identity. Identity dictates reality. Round and round it goes, tightening like a noose with every rotation. Subject B believes they are being realistic. They say, "I'm just telling it like it is." But to the mirror master, being realistic is the fastest road to mediocrity. Telling it like it is guarantees that it will stay like it is. To escape this gravitational pull, you must master the fourth secret, breaking the loop. You must do something that feels counterintuitive, perhaps even delusional to the untrained mind. You must learn to ignore the evidence of your senses. When the master looks at a bank account that says 0, the master does not blink. He does not internalize poverty. He understands that this number is simply a historical record of past thoughts. It is dead data. He looks at the 0, but internally he feels the frequency of the millions he is creating. He overlays his internal vision onto the external data. He does not let the outside world dictate his inner state. He dictates his inner state and forces the outside world to catch up. This requires a level of mental discipline that most people never develop. It requires you to become unreasonable. Reasonable people adapt themselves to the world. Unreasonable people persist in trying to adapt the world to themselves. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable person. You must stop reacting to the reflection. Every time you react, every time you get angry at the bill, sad about the breakup, frustrated by the delay, you are signing a contract to repeat it. You are telling the mirror, "This is real, this is valid, give me another round." The master practices the divine indifference. When chaos erupts, the master watches it like a movie they have already seen. They know how it ends. They don't scream at the screen. They wait. They know that the chaos is often just the restructuring of reality. It is the old buildings being demolished to make way for the palace. And while they ignore the bad, they aggressively hunt for the good. This is the second half of the secret, the amplification of signs. When you start this work, the mirror will not shift all at once. It will crack. Small things will happen. You find a $10 bill on the street. A stranger smiles at you. You get a discount you didn't expect. Subject B ignores these. "It's just $10, and they say, "It's not the million I wanted." They kill the seed. Subject A, the master, sees the $10 and celebrates it as if it were the million. They say, "The mirror is responding, it's working, the flow is starting." By celebrating the small reflection, they tell the mirror, "Yes, This, give me more of this. Remember, the mirror amplifies what you focus on. If you focus on the not enoughness of the result, you get more not enough. If you focus on the progress of the result, you get more progress. You must become a detective for evidence that your new reality is arriving. You must construct a case for your success, using every tiny scrap of proof you can find, while throwing out every piece of evidence to the contrary. This is how you reverse the cycle. Instead of observing, feeling, projecting, you choose, feel, project, observe, confirm. You are no longer a thermometer that just reads the temperature of the room. You are the thermostat. You set the temperature and the room adjusts to match you. We have covered the mechanics. You now understand why your life looks the way it does. It is not a mystery. It is a reflection. If you are honest with yourself, you can look back at your past and see the pattern. You can see how your deepest fears, once held silently in the dark, eventually walked into your life as events. You can see how your moments of greatest conviction and belief opened doors that seemed locked. You have always been the wizard behind the curtain. You have always been the projector. The difference is that, until today, you were projecting a horror movie by accident. You were running a script written by your parents, by society, by your trauma, and by your fears. But the script is not the truth. It is just a story. And the beautiful, terrifying thing about a story is that the author can change it at any moment. I warned you at the beginning that this video was not for everyone. Most people find comfort in being a victim. It is easier to blame the mirror than to change the face. It is easier to say, life is unfair, than to admit, I am creating this. Victimhood is a warm, soft blanket, but it is a blanket that suffocates you. If you have watched until this second, I believe you are part of the 1% who is ready to drop the blanket. You are ready to step into the cold, sharp air of responsibility. The mirror is waiting for you. Right now. It is hanging in the invisible space before your eyes. It has no agenda. It has no judgment. It has no memory of your past failures. It is completely fresh. It is holding its breath, waiting for your next command. What image will you place before it? Will you continue to show it your history and doom yourself to repeat it? Or will you show it your destiny? Will you react to the world as it is? Or will you create the world as it must be? The principles are simple. Identity first. Patience in the gap. Focus on the solution. Ignore the illusion. But simple does not mean easy. It requires a daily, hourly vigilance. It is a war against your own old habits, but it is the only war worth fighting. Because on the other side of that mirror is not just success. It is freedom. The freedom to know that you are not a leaf blowing in the wind. You are the wind. The reflection is about to change. But you must move first. Go look in the mirror and introduce yourself to the person you have decided to become.